So propaganda is deliberate systematic attempt to shape perceptions and direct behavior to achieve certain goals. So we're going to look at some propaganda techniques that people use to achieve these goals. First one up is oversimplification. This is any kind of short phrase or word used, but it's not clear exactly what it means. So for instance, in this particular ad of Nike, just do it, just do what? In this case, the funny part of this, of course, is the boy has interpreted it as just pee on the wall. But what the effectiveness of this ad is, it means means a lot of different things to a lot of different people, and so whatever their image of what it is will because it's so vague, so many people will buy into this message. The next technique is euphemism. This is when you use a nice sounding word or label for an unpleasant thing. So the word has a positive sense, although the thing is negative. In this case, we have a nuclear missile capable of killing thousands, if not millions, of people. But we call it the peacekeeper because the fact that we have it means that people aren't going to attack us. But it's a very nice sounding name, and making it sound that it's not quite as bad as what it's capable of doing. Faulty cause and effect. When one thing is supposed to cause another thing, but the middle part of how it's supposed to happen is absent or incorrect. So in this case here, we have a Red Bull ad, which is Red Bull's claimed here that's the only shot that gives you wings. Well, in other words, you're going to be running around with a lot of energy, but it's basically specifically saying that you're going to be flying, you're going to have wings, and obviously they're missing a middle connection of that to really happen. Testimonial is anywhere where you get a famous person to endorse a product or a perspective or a person. You admire a person in some way, so you might follow what they do. Here's an ad for Barack Obama in 2008 when he was running for president, created by a bunch of celebrities.
It was a creed written into the founding documents that declared the destiny
So will.i.am.
of a nation. Yes, we can. It was whispered by slaves and abolitionists.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and you'll see in this particular ad lots of famous people appearing here to support Barack Obama.
It was sung by immigrants. He struck out the shores of pioneers, pushed westward against unforgiving loneliness. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. It was the call of workers organized.
All right. Next technique is glittering generalities. And in this case, you're using big, bold, and positive but vague statements here. In this particular case, an advertisement for lipstick claiming plump, gorgeous lips instantly. And particularly the idea of things being plump and gorgeous, we all sort of have a different idea in our mind of what that is. So that because it's sort of a vague word that means different things to different people, and it's a very positive word to all of us, then everyone's going to want to have that. Very effective technique. Name calling. This is a use of a negative word to label something that you don't want to be supported. In this particular case, someone is labeling Barack Obama as a communist because communist is often politically a very bad word to use in the U.S., and a lot of people don't like the idea of being communists, so they'll if you associate him with that, then people will not vote for him. Fear is another effective technique. The idea that if you don't buy the product or vote for the candidate, something bad will happen to you. It can be physical, social, intellectual, etc. This is actually to encourage the U.S. to go to war. An advertisement here. We shall soon have a quote from Hitler. We shall soon have our stormtroopers in America, getting people afraid that, oh, Hitler's going to attack the America, so we better go attack him first. Getting people to support through fear the idea of getting involved in a war. Plain folks is the attempts to convince the audience that the propagandist positions reflect the common sense of the people. It is designed to win the confidence of the audience by communicating in the common manner and style of the target audience. Here's a picture of George Bush wearing a cowboy hat, driving a truck, trying to portray himself as a typical Texan, and as sort of just like your average Joe driving around in a truck. Transfer. This is equating a product or a perspective or person with a symbol. Then, because you associate that symbol with something, you're supposed to have a similar impression of the thing attached to it. In this case, the American flag can be a symbol of different things for different people. In this case, it might be for patriotism. We will look at Barack Obama and associate him with America, with being patriotic, and have a positive view of him. Scapegoat is the idea of blaming problems on somebody or something and thereby avoiding responsibility for it. In this case here, we'll watch a short excerpt of Romney blaming Obama for the price of gasoline.
Governor, obviously volatility in the Middle East affects oil prices. Do you believe President Obama is to blame for high gas prices?
Well, there's no question, but when he ran for office, he said he wanted to see gasoline prices go up. He said that energy prices would skyrocket under his views, and he selected 3 people to help him implement that program. The Secretary of Energy, the Secretary of the Interior, and the EPA Administrator. And this gas hike trio has been doing the job over the last 3.5 years, and gas prices are up. The right course is they ought to be fired because the president has apparently
so that's the case of blaming Obama. Next we have Bandwagon. This is the idea of using peer pressure to make you feel like everyone is doing it and you should not be left out. Gap is throwing on images of many different people wearing their clothing, making it seem like, wow, everybody does this. This is really popular. I don't want to be left out. I'd better go buy some Gap clothing as well. All right, so those are the techniques. There are other techniques that you can use as well, but we're going to focus just on those in this class here. So let's get a little practice on trying to figure out what techniques different propaganda uses. This is a case of Stalin in Russia and trying to convince people to support him. What techniques does he use? Next we have a poster that is trying to get people to carpool and not drive alone. This is a pretty extreme ad saying when you ride alone, you ride with Hitler, and the connection is that if you're going to be riding alone, you're going to be wasting gasoline. That gasoline could be used for fighting against the Germans in the war, and if you're using it up, then you're hurting the Americans, and therefore you might as well have Hitler riding with you because you're helping him out. What techniques does this use? Next we have a advertisement for Barack Obama running for president, a simple word of hope, and the advertisement written in red, white, and blue. What techniques does this use? Next we have an advertisement for John McCain running for president in 2008. This was a video, but even just this image itself, we can see we have reform, prosperity, peace, McCain. Look at the way he's dressed, the background. What techniques does this use? All right, and that's it for this explanation of propaganda techniques, and hopefully that you've learned something from it.